What's up, you addicted gamblers? It's Tuesday. It's not Monday. I wish it was Monday because I wouldn't be able to watch that horrible North Carolina TCU game. I would have watched something else besides that game. But it's a Tuesday, and it's another episode of Betting Outside the Box with my main man next to me, Degenerate Lenny, not Detroit Lenny, Degenerate Lenny, joining me. What's going on, Lenny?
Hey, listen, it was only a bad game if you didn't have TCU.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
True.
So, I mean, I don't predict our guy in North Carolina there, Bill Belichick, to do anything in with this team. So it is what it is. I thought it was an okay game, but I only watched the first half. I'm not going to lie. There were other.
Yeah, me too. I only watched first.
Yeah, there was other stuff on, in my opinion. There's some baseball. So, I was overall, it was a good weekend. Notre Dame. But whatever, we'll talk more about college football.
Yeah, since you mentioned that game and stuff like that, I already put odds up for new head coach of Alabama. We'll talk about that in our college football segment, just because some other sports books put odds up on there, and I disagree with their favorite was. But we'll dive into that one. But it was a holiday weekend. I'm glad you guys are watching us on a Tuesday. I want to give a big shout out to Thomas Lewis, who's a new DocSports member, and Charles Green wants to let's go. I agree, Charles. Let's go. Let's cash. Because you know what, Charles? We have not one, not two, not three, but we're looking for 4 straight Dr. Order winners. So hopefully you stay with that because we'll show that out in about 25 minutes. Another winner from the Doctor's Orders in about 25. We have a great segment today. We have talked about our weekend recap. We'll drop that in about 5 minutes. What we did over the weekend, what we thought about the weekend, and what we cashed about the weekend. Then we'll dive into college football week 2. Some teams I think need some improvements of what we saw in week 1. And then we'll talk about Thursday football. Friday we'll probably spend most of the show of NFL week 1 just because we're talking a lot of college football today. But Friday's show pretty much going to dive in really, really hard on NFL week 2. And don't forget that Friday game as well in España. So we'll dive into that one as well. So we have a great show for you today. So it's going to be very interesting, Lenny. Did you cash a lot of tickets this weekend?
Notre Dame let me down. Catholics let me down. Convicts prevailed. It was upsetting in all ways, shape, and form. Notre Dame was blah, but other than that, it was a good weekend. I was lazy. I'm not going to lie. I didn't have no live shows yesterday. We took the Labor Day off. No live shows. Lenny was not on camera at all, and it felt glorious. Just to, maybe take the makeup off. Okay. It's a lot going on here. So, I was lazy, and barbecued some chicken on the grill, and kids were off school, talked a lot of trash for our family fantasy football league with, all my kids and my wife are in it. There's only 8 of us, but we're a hot mess and half of us don't know what we're doing. And I'm getting spanked by my 13-year-old in fantasy football. And it's upsetting on a whole nother level, but that's a different show. But how about you? How was your holiday weekend?
It was good. I mean, Saturday and Sunday were pretty easy. Yesterday, I did have me interviews. You know me, I'm always jumping. I had to do my morning show with Jeff the Coachman Coaching Company. It's funny. We had a normal guy on there that's on there every Monday, and he didn't show. And he's like, hey, I didn't know we were doing a show on Monday. We're like, we do shows on Thursday, Thanksgiving, stuff like that. So it's kind of funny how some people think, hey, just because it's a holiday, there's always gambling. There's always sports. So I tell people that just because it's a holiday in our industry, and I'm saying our industry, that's your industry as well, there's always sports on. There's sports on Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. So the show must go on.
COVID, no days off. No days off. Sports never stops. I say this all the time. I've said this before. You're the hardest working man in show business. You're like the James Brown of the sports betting industry. He's always on a show or a podcast or radio or TV. He's got odds on Easter egg counts and stuff. Everything. So James Brown of our industry right here, Raphael.
If you're up late
That's
to
you.
West Coast, if you're up late on the West Coast, 10 p.m. on a new show, Hawk Talk, the #1 Seattle Seahawks show on there once a week. And Mike Tice is on the show with Walter Thurman. Walter Thurman, Legion of Doom. Can't wait to talk to him tonight on the show. And they both love gambling, so it's going to be very interesting, the topics we're going to be breaking down. But you know what? We talked about what we did this weekend, how we do on a betting, and what did we see on the betting side over the weekend. Let's go with the weekend recap.
You know what time it is? It's weekend recap time.
All right, weekend recap. I love that sound. I'm telling
So
you, it doesn't give off game show vibes. I don't know what does, but go ahead.
That's 16. Probably I missed your 2 questions before he did the weekend recap. He says he likes the Cardinals tonight. I'm guessing it's the St. Louis Cardinals. Miles Mikolas is on the mound, and anytime he's on the mound, even when the Cardinals are good or when the Cardinals are bad, I'd kind of take a step backwards for that one. But I'll be rooting for you on that one. I have no action, no thought on that way. So if you like the Cardinals, you know what? Hate to say it, I'm a Cubs fan, but for you, F16, I like the Cardinals with you. So let's cash tonight. And then he had Ohio State, such an easy W. I'll talk about that when I do my little weekend recap of F16. But Lenny, what was your weekend recap?
Notre Dame lets me down. I've talked about that. Other than that, biggest winner, lock of the millennial. Game of the century, Florida over Long Island University. It was the easy money minus 47.5 with a 55-0 win. That's the degenerate in me. If you don't think I got down on that, you don't know me at all, because I did. That was a good game. And don't think that I wasn't watching it on my little app. I had it on the side. That's the game I watched a lot of.
Wow, Albany. If you had Albany on your bingo card for BOTB, you just cashed, right? You just cashed. You just cashed. And there's a couple games that on my weekend recap that either I loved watching, and some of that just kicked me in the nuts and I didn't like watching. The first one is, I agree with F16. I had Oregon State. Boy, did they let me down. They were quickly down, like not just quick, but it was like I blinked and they were already down 7-0. They just couldn't catch anything break. They couldn't run the ball. So yeah, I had them. So they were my premium play, and you know what? I didn't like the game, and it was a bad play of mine. But you know what? I still love the number, even though the California money came in and it closed at a pick'em, and I almost bet it again, but I was too busy watching other football games and I forgot to rebet. So I guess my forgetfulness and laziness, I didn't rebet it, and I would have lost not once but twice on Oregon State. But that was a big miss. But I'm gonna say I hate to keep on piggybacking F16, but that Ohio State Texas game was very intriguing. Loved watching it. But then I rewatched it on Sunday, and you know what? Manning wasn't that bad in the second half. I mean, if that drop pass and that late and passing interference, this is a whole different ballgame. I mean, everyone thinks, oh yeah, and yes, Manning was awful first quarter, second quarter, beginning of the third, awful. I'm not saying he's still going to win the Heisman. I'm not going to say it, but yes, he was awful. But that fourth quarter could have been totally different, and we might have a different story, because Ohio State didn't run them out. It's not like they won by 28-7 or something like that. It was a still tight game, defense for defense. Now I want to see how Texas comes back, because you know who they play? They play San Jose State, who I also had the over in that game, and they only scored 14 points against who? A school called the Chippewas of Central Michigan. So I want to see how Texas rebounds. If Chippewas only scored 14 points, what is Texas defense going to do? They played really well against Ohio State. Their defense played well. So, it's going to be a long day for the Chippewas. So I'm really intrigued to see how Texas rebounds, Alabama rebounds, Notre Dame rebounds. It's not basketball season yet, but I'm looking for the rebound game this weekend in college football. There's a couple teams that I'm looking forward to if they're going to do some rebounding.
I mean, it's week 2, so it's going to be overreaction week. Everybody is going to be, oh my God, Notre Dame stinks. That's not necessarily true. I think they played very bad this weekend. I do agree with you about the Ohio State. We kind of called that. That game was so hyped up. It was just bound to be a dud. It was never going to be what the media built it up to be. Like the media thought that game was going to be in the 60s. Both teams were going to just never stop scoring. Those were two good defenses. I
Yes.
don't think Ohio State looked very good. I don't think they looked like world beaters. And I do think to F-16's comment here, the stage, maybe some nerves got to Arch. Maybe I could see that. I mean, they've been building this game up for months. It's different when a game is built up week to week, but this game has been built up for a while. So maybe a lot of over anxiousness in that game, but we kind of nailed it. The game was just bound to be a dud, which our doctor's orders cashed on that.
Easily winner. And
no doubt winner.
I'm going to take those three teams that you mentioned. They were all road teams going to a hostile environment. Texas going to the shoot. Notre Dame going to criminal land. So Alabama going to Florida State. It's not like those three teams lost at home. If I have any concern, it's Clemson, LSU went over there and ran all over them. And when is Debo going to finally realize, hey, you know what? I need some transfer portal people. We need to start paying other people than getting these freshmen and grooming them to be good football players. Because right now it has not worked for them. And so if I'm any team that has a lot of worryingness, I'm going to say it has to be Clemson.
I agree. That game, another dud where I was expecting a lot more out of both teams. And I don't feel like either team overly impressed me. I feel like I was underimpressed by LSU and Clemson. More Clemson than LSU, but I was definitely not impressed by either team. And I said this to you. I said this to Robert last week about my Michigan State Spartans when the spread was 21. I said, Spartans will probably win by 20. I go, they'll play 57 minutes of football. 2 minutes and 36 seconds left in the game. They bring the backup quarterback in. Why you don't run the ball up 23-0? I don't know. But you decide to throw the ball. What happens? Pick six. And everybody that had the Spartans got screwed. And that
teasers too. That was probably my biggest kick in the groin of the weekend. But I also knew it, so I didn't go ham and bet a lot of money on that, or I didn't bet grandma's farm on it or anything like that. Sprinkle action because I knew deep down that my Spartans were going to do this to me for 57 minutes of football. I was going to be excited. It was, like I said, it was an interesting weekend. I mean, for me, it was I did not have a good football weekend. Well, let me take 2 steps backward. CFL is football, right? They still throw the football, right?
Still great. Yes, they are.
So I cashed in CFL. College football gave me the double bird. CFL football was good. Since we broke down some college football, let's dissect some week 2 college football.
Let's do it. I don't know who does these soundtrack stuff. These are
brilliant. It's brilliant.
It's
maybe Elton John, or
I was thinking more Dr. Dre producer stuff, but probably behind the scenes. Elton John's more in the forefront, but I get it.
Look at F-16 Pilot. He just gave us a $20 super sticker. Thank you, F-16.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
Beer money. Can we put it on like a Raphael? You want to do a parlay together?
No, I'd rather have beer money.
No. Fair enough. That beer money
we'll split it, and you can take your $10 for your beer money.
We appreciate you so much. Thank you for being in the chat first and foremost, hitting the like button and all that, and the donation. We appreciate you. Hats off.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't have a hat on, but hats off, and we appreciate it. There's one game, and I'm glad. I was so happy that we were doing this show on week 2, because there's a game that's right in your backyard that I can't wait to watch. Probably not going to lay any action because I was dead on a number. It's Michigan State, Boston College. That's going to be a fantastic game because both teams want to establish the run early and try to get the passing game going in the second half. And I was hoping maybe this one would open up like 2.5, and I can maybe jump on Michigan State, but it opened up at 3, and then boom, they were gone. Their threes were gone, and now it's 4. So I'm still gonna watch it. I've had my eye on this game when the schedule happened. Right after I saw Michigan State should win their first game, I want to see how if they're gonna be an improving team in the Big Ten, like the Ohio States and the Michigans and the Oregons. They needed to have the first W, and now they have the second W of a Boston College team. So I'm really, really excited. I was hoping to pull the trigger on that one. So that's one of the games. And another game, Arizona State, Mississippi State. It's a weird game for Arizona State to come to the South to play this game against the Mississippi State, the Rebels. So really intrigued on this one because there's another team that we were totally blown away that they won the conference last year. Not the Pac-12. People say, no, not the Pac-12. They didn't win the Pac-12 last year. But this Arizona State team, I'm really excited to see what they do to the almighty SEC team. So I'm really excited to watch Sun Devils. Right now, the number is like 6.5. Got bet down, opened up at 7 on this one. If it continues to go down, I might have to look at the Sun Devils on this game because I think their defense can bother Mississippi State.
I'm attracted by Georgia Southern USC. I see F16 also talked about USC going to the playoffs. I'm attracted by that only because, to your point about Michigan State, Boston College, you got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And you got to beat them the way you're supposed to beat them. That Michigan State Boston College game, I'm already on the first half. I'm on the first half Michigan State. That's where I like them. That's probably where I'll be on them the majority of the year if I bet them, because I don't trust them for 60 minutes of football. You just saw it last week. I don't expect it to change, but we will see. To your point, these are games they should win, so they have to make a statement. It's at home. You want to be relevant in the Big Ten. These are the teams you got to win, or beat USC though. I do agree USC is really, really good. I think they're going to actually creep up on some people. I think they could be better. I think people are underestimating them. And I think this is another game where I think the number's 29-ish, if I wasn't mistaken, like their favorite.
There's a couple of 28 still out there in 28
Okay, so I think they win by 30 plus. I really do. I know it's a big number, but I think this is a game that they're going to make a statement at home. Coliseum. Weird stuff happens in the Coliseum.
There's one game that I'm just going to sit back, not even track it for live betting, nothing. Because this game is going to determine how I look at them for the rest of the season betting-wise. And that's Michigan going to Oklahoma. This is going to be such an interesting factor in what these teams do for the rest of the season and what the point spreads are going to affect on them for the rest of the season. I mean, Oklahoma only laying 5.5. I really thought this number was going to be 6 and maybe get bet down lower. So when it opened up at 4.5, I was a little scratching my head. Had to do a little bit more research. I don't know why my number was kind of off that bad. So I'm high on this Oklahoma. Me and Ringo talked about this on our show that this could be a sneaky team, Oklahoma, that not that many people are talking about. You know what they're finally doing in Oklahoma? They're finally playing SEC defense, not Big 12 defense when they were there, because Big 12 people at that time didn't play defense as Texas Tech. They were just bringing up numbers. They were playing video game numbers. The team can be sneaky. I'm not sold on Michigan. So what's Dave Portnoy going to do if Michigan gets whooped to Oklahoma? Whew.
Loses ever-loving mind. Listen, I can't stand Michigan. I mean, being a Spartan fan.
I know.
I'm naturally on Oklahoma. I'm naturally on them. I haven't placed a wager on them, but to your point, I want to watch that game. I do. I'm really curious to see how Michigan plays against Oklahoma in a hostile environment like Oklahoma. I'd be interested in that game. It pains me to say that I want to watch a Michigan game, but I kind of want to watch that game. I don't know. That's just where I'm at. But we got a couple new members. Percy Harper, new member. Appreciate you. As well as Dustin Webb, new member to YouTube and our premium membership. So hats off to you, too. I'm only taking my hat. That's it. I'm not taking my hat off anymore. I only did my makeup. I didn't do my hair, so I'm not taking the hat off anymore.
So there's one game that's not interesting, Alabama versus the Warhawks or UNM, but Alabama's 36.5, 37. if they only win by, let's say, 14 points, it's going to get ugly. And what did I do today? I put up odds for the next Alabama Crimson Tide new head coach. And I'm not going to say the book that did it because I respect this book, love this book, and stuff like that. They're very good to the community of sports betting. And they made Tommy Rees, Cleveland. I think he's a Cleveland Browns offensive coordinator. I know he's with the Browns. I don't know what to say. And they made him the favorite. He's got ties to Oklahoma. But if they really need a head coach, I think they go for a name that has a lot of experience. Because don't forget, when Saban retired, recruits left. They transferred out.
Right.
They need someone to get the transfers to come back in and say, hey, you know what? I'm transferring back to Alabama. Because I watched a lot of college football this week, and all I heard was so-and-so transferred from Alabama. So-and-so transferred from Alabama. You didn't hear that when Saban was there. So I made Lane Kiffin the 3-1 favorite. And I made Deion Sanders 5-1, the third favorite. Because those guys will kick those two guys right there. I'm not saying they're going to get the job. I think the betting public will bet them. But if you're Alabama and you want to go back to Alabama football, you need the players to stay at your school and not transfer out or not even to think about your school anymore. So I understand why Tommy Rees is a good fit. He's got the ties of Alabama, but I don't think he can bring the recruits to keep them there to bring back Alabama. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm excited to watch that game just because I think Alabama needs to win by like 30 plus to get the more some breathing room for the rest of the season.
I'll say this about that. No John Gruden?
He's on the list. He's on the list.
Okay,
long 15-1, 16-1, because he does want to coach in the SEC. He said he does want to coach on the SEC, so he's on the list.
I do think that Alabama is, as much as I can't stand to say this, but they're Alabama. And they're not really one to bring in a coach, not a big name, and he's going to grow the program. The program is already grown. You need a high-profile name to match that energy, in my opinion. And Deion was somebody I did not think of, and I could see that. I could really see that. I could see. I just want to see John Gruden coach. I just think he's. I agree. I just think he's a hot mess. He's just a mess, man. But he's exactly the kind of mess I feel I would be if ever given the opportunity like that. But he kind of has a really cushiony gig the way he's at Barstool right now. I think he's actually having fun over there. Yeah. Like if you watch any of his stuff, but I'm rooting for you, John. I'm rooting for you.
I agree. That'd be kind of interesting. So I want to thank everyone in the chat right now. F16 just blowing up. Again, thank you for your donations. And if you're watching, anytime you want to break down a game, we do accept super stickers and donations and stuff like that. We'll put you on the screen on that, and we'll answer your question in real time if you want us to break down a game. Any game now that we have NFL, real NFL this week, and then college football week 2. So don't forget to put on that. But you know what Thursday is? The first game of the NFL. Let's break down a little NFL Thursday night football.
This guy needs graphics.
Thursday night football is I really don't want to do me and Robert show on Friday. Because he did tell me so. I didn't think this Dallas Cowboy number would go this high. It is now
never going to let you live this down, too.
It is now 9 offshore for the Philadelphia Eagles. 8.5 pretty much mostly out there, stuff like that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how high this number goes. If it's 9 now and it's only Tuesday at 6:24 Eastern Standard Time? I'm a little bit blown away at how much Eagle money is coming in on it. Because if it moved this much, that means sharp action came in. This is not just Joe Schmo money. This is not Joe Public money. So I'm a little bit interesting. And I want to mention this player prop bet because you know what? It's called betting outside the box. We always like to talk about weird stuff or stuff that we may not see. Dak Prescott, his over-under passing yards. You know what it opened up at? I had to do a double take and research it pretty much all afternoon. His over-under was posted at 242 like maybe 2 weeks ago. It is now 248. I'm not saying Dak Prescott is going to have an MVP season, or I'm not going to
Right.
say he stinks. But if the Eagles come out and let's say score first or punching them out, what are the Cowboys going to have to do? They're going to have to throw the ball. So if you like
Yeah.
the Eagles, maybe take a shot at Dak Prescott passing yards because they're not going to be running the ball if they're behind. So I thought that was a little interesting that they opened up that low. Now, I mean, I think it comes down, but I was really interested on that one.
Listen, I kind of undercover like the over in this game, and I worry that it's just me being a homer NFL fan, and NFL's back, yay! More points, yay! You know what I mean? Kind of situation. Also, F16, just boom, controlling the chat. I will put this to good use. There'll be a 17 leg parlay on this. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But
That one you can have that one. He's specific. You can have that one. You can
I'm
do
good.
your
I'm telling
super
you right now.
teaser, your SGP Tuesday night special, whatever
There'll
you
be a
want.
Thursday. I'll tell you, there'll be a two-team same game parlay on Thursday Night Football, and I'll keep you guys updated on the Friday show, 6:00 Eastern, on what we did with that money on Thursday Night Football. How's that? I'm just saying.
And you know what? And if you let us know what you did with it, and if you win, we'll send F16 something, a hat,
Absolutely.
a shirt. We'll send them something. If it hits or something, we're gonna send F16 something since he's been very generous to that. So again, thank you, F16. And I think in your chat you said USC 20 minus 21. I am going to be your biggest USC fan for you this weekend because I want you to cash big this weekend. So I'm going to put my
50 years he's been a fan. 50 years, he says. USC fan for 50 years. That's awesome right there.
I have no kids, F16, and I'm going to be a big Trojan fan for you for a real. So that's for F16. But I do kind of lean over towards this one too on the Eagles Cowboys game because I think the Eagles are going to want to punch them in the mouth first, and that means that Cowboys are going to have to go toe to toe with that offense. So we'll dissect Friday's game a little bit more, but a little bit shocked on that Dak Prescott passing prop bet 242.5, now 248.5. There's some player prop bets that I have not really dissected. I usually don't go crazy on player prop bets until like week 3. I want to see how people are playing, who people come back from injuries and stuff like that. So it's going to be very interesting to see what we do on this. But I just want to, if you like Dallas, I'll put this before we start cashing our 4 straight doctor's orders. If you're a Cowboy fan, or if you just think Dallas is worth betting on this one, you wait. You wait to see if it goes to 9.5. If it goes to 9.5, maybe, I hate saying this, but maybe buy that half a point to get it up to 10 or something like that. Do not bet the Dallas Cowboys now, because if there's a 9, 2 places right now, one at Almighty Circa and the other one offshore, it might move to 9.5. So if you're a Cowboy bettor or a Cowboy fan, or you think there's value, I say wait, because you can get a better number if you wait, because I think the number does climb up maybe a half a more point.
So I am a teaser guy. Dallas right now, I'd say 8.5 in a 6-point teaser. It gets me over 14. How do I not take that? How do I tell myself, how do I control Lenny right now? Because that is
if it
a
does
lovely
move,
teaser number.
If it does move, we have 2 9s. And what is the biggest thing you see in sportsbook? Copy paste. They don't care about action coming in. If the guy next door has -9 and you have 8.5, and they found out they did a medium-sized bet, that's why they moved it, they're gonna move it on that 9, not because they took money, because the guy next door moved it to 9. So it's a copy paste industry as of 2025. So I would say wait to see if you can get that. I think that 8.5 is going to be there. Just have to make sure. I would say wait, and you know what? I'm gonna write that little note for me. Keep an eye out for this game for you, Lenny. I'll let you know if it's moving for you and stuff like that. So for me, if you're gonna tease it, I would say try to get 9.5, because you tease it at 6. Now you have 15.5, and if it's a 14-point win for a game, you still win instead of a push.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna wait. Keep an eye on that number for us, for sure. And I gotta bless. I hope USC destroys.
Oh, me too.
I'm just saying.
Daryl Johnson's in here. Let's go up, Daryl. Thank you for
Daryl?
watching. Thank you for participating and betting outside the box. But you know what, Daryl? You just came in at the right time because you know what, Daryl? We are going for not one, not two, not three, but 4 straight doctor's orders. So let's bring up that doctor order. We're swinging for the fences today. We're hoping both teams swing for the fences today because we're taking the New York Yankees, Houston Astros, both teams to score 3+ runs at even money. I know it's a great pitching duel, but normally when you have a great pitching duel, what normally happens, the bats wake up and the bats take over the game. So it wouldn't shock me this is a 5-4 game or something crazy like this. I know Max French Fried is on the mound, so I know people like to bet under games with him, but the Yankees give him run support all the time when he's on the mound. And what the Yankees been doing, they've been hitting the ball. So I think we're going to see an offensive attack from both teams. And now, Lenny, you agree to this. We're in September now. So most teams who are looking at playoffs, they're not going to make their starters go 6, 7 innings. They're going to rest them, pull them out, get their 5th win, and let the bullpen take over because they don't want to waste their pitching arm on one of their key guys. So again, Max French Fried and Houston Astros with who's on the mound for? I can't remember.
Valdez.
Valdez on the mound. I can see them getting pulled a little bit early because both of them might be looking for playoff stuff, and now you see bullpens giving up runs. So I just like the plus money on this one. I love the bats of the Yankees. So we're going to take the New York Yankees, Houston Astros. Both teams to score. That's what BTTS stands for. Both teams to score 3+ runs at even money.
That's good value, I think, at that price. I like that. I really like this game. I want to watch this game. I want to watch this game. I might be able to middle this game on a side, like if somebody gets up early or whatever.
You just made me. You dropped it too when you said middle.
I know. Look at me being a better. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? God bless me. I know. Don't cry. I'll be here all week.
But I agree. It should be a fantastic game. But you know what? The viewers have been kind to us. The viewers have been outstanding. The chat's been popping. So what can they get over at DocSports?
Listen, you head over to DocSports. There's a link in the description of this video. You can click on it. But you go to DocSports.com/free60. You can get a free $60 account over there. You can use on any handicapper you want on any type of package they have offered. Daily package, prop package, season package, whatever. Raphael's best bet and stuff like that. Maybe has some premium plays over there. Head over to DocSports.com/free60. The big link right on the website. If you can't find the tab, we got bigger problems. That's a whole nother video. But click on the tab, free $60 account if you're brand new over at DocSports.
Yeah, we had a great Tuesday show. I'm glad we did a Tuesday show because we actually thought about just taking Monday off and just do the Friday show. So it's been a fantastic show. F16 kicked. I'll say he kicked ass today. USC is going to win by 50 on Saturday. F16. I'm saying 56-7 is the final score for that one. So USC. Daryl was in the chat. So I want to thank everyone that was in the chat, everyone that was watching. Thank you. We'll be back on Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with another episode of Betting Outside the Box. I am Raphael Esparza. That is my boy, Degenerate Lenny.
You could say it, Degenerate Lenny, also known as Detroit Lenny.
AKA Detroit Lenny. Yeah. We want to thank everyone for watching. You know, I always end the show with, please don't bet what you don't have, even though we got $40.
Take care.